Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters, and welcome to another episode of Breaking News, where we have an action-packed episode for you. I've got 6 guests tonight. Unbelievable. I'm so excited, and we've got a full agenda. So let's get into now Breaking News for March 26th. And I'd like to start with, I put an announcement out. We have many channels being Passion Across Borders here in District 109. And so I put a message out to our WhatsApp group. What's happening around the district? And I got some news from our Turkish Toastmasters in Division H. In particular, Udli. Maybe you've heard of it. There is a new announcement. It's just taken place, but Toastmasters International is now paired with Udli. This is an AI software, a speech coach. So no longer do we need to practice amongst friends and teddy bears, but we can practice with an AI coach that will give you feedback on your ums, your ahs, maybe some advice around the structure of your speech. And what a wonderful way to prepare. And certainly there are some announcements about that on the Udli website. So if you're interested, the Udli blog there you see on screen actually has more information, as well as a video by our current international president, Matt McKinsey. So I encourage you definitely to look out for that. And as I mentioned, our Turkish Toastmasters had a training with Yoni Laidlaw, our DTM, who was able to talk through how Udli works. So maybe if you're interested, contact Toastmaster Meltem or others in Division H, and they'd certainly be able to pass on the details about how it works, and perhaps even invite them on to demonstrate that product live. So I put the call out there to Meltem and others in Division H. Perhaps you could come on and share more with us on Breaking News. Also in Toastmasters in Turkey, we had a combined Rotary and International Toastmasters event. And this is wonderful. You see there the Bosphorus Toastmasters having an event with Rotary. And we know that's an international relationship, a very prosperous one, but certainly one in which we want to continue to evolve. So it's great to see our Toastmasters there in Turkey combining with Rotary in that sense as well. So we've got another couple of announcements. In particular, we are now moving from our area contest to our division contest. So I'd like to invite Toastmaster Elsa and Toastmaster Eleanor to tell us a little bit more about their division contest. Welcome to you both, our division directors.
Hi, David. So nice to be here.
Thank you for joining us. And I know you have other things to do. So Toastmaster Elsa, tell us about the Division A conference, please.
Oh, we are really looking forward to that. After a long pause from COVID, we are finally going to meet each other in person, and I couldn't be more excited. We are dealing with some secrets because at the moment I cannot reveal anything. So stay tuned. We are going to reveal more in the upcoming weeks, but save the date. We are going to host an hybrid conference from the 15th to the 16th of April in Rimini, which is probably the Italian capital of fun. So I think that speaks volumes on how we intend to have it. We will have, of course, the contests, which are going to be amazing, but we are planning on a few side things that we are hopefully to deliver some fun for our members. For instance, we are preparing a playroom with games dedicated to storytelling and public speaking. So it's going to be a nice way to try our skills in a different kind of settings and have fun again together. But you can also explore the city of Rimini with a guided tour. We will have, of course, a gala dinner that is an important plan of the fun program, and we will have keynotes. I can only reveal so little for the moment, but I'm happy to share that one of them will be dedicated to an important topic, happiness. Because we usually think that happiness is just a feeling, an emotion, but we want to try something different. Happiness as a competence, and especially a skill you can develop and train, not only for yourself and for your well-being, but also for the success of an organization, like your company or Toastmasters?
Wow, wonderful. So Division A, 15th and 16th of April. I can't type fast enough and put up things at the same time. So that's wonderful, but happiness themed as well, which is wonderful there. That's great. Thank you, Toastmaster Elsa. Toastmaster Elsa, what's happening in your division, Division G?
Hello, everyone. Hello, David. We will have our division conference too. It will be on 3rd and 5th of June 2023, and it will be in Chios Island, on Chios Island. We are trying to build a new club on Chios Island, so we'll have our division conference there, and there will be a lot of surprises. We will have a tour to the castle of Chios. We will have a walk on the North Chios. We will have a hiking for going to the thermal baths of Ayasmata. We will have a feast, a local feast with local delicacies and music. And of course, our visitors will have the chance to visit the Mastic Museum because Chios is well known about mastic, which is something that is only you can find it there. And of course, we have a full agenda for public speaking and leadership, building public speaking and leadership skills.
Mhm.
And we will have keynote speeches, and we will have a playroom with a lot of games for Toastmasters.
Aha.
And we will have a debate, a very nice debate with experienced Toastmaster members. I cannot say a lot of information right now, but please stay tuned, and you will find a lot of about our speakers the next weeks to come.
Okay. Now, did you say the 3rd and 5th
Of June,
of June?
yes.
The 3rd and 5th of June. Good. So I've got it there. I've got it right. There we go. So Division G, 3rd to 5th of June. Tours, walking, hiking, thermal baths. That sounds good. And a feast. You mentioned a feast. I think that sounds good. Museums and much more, of course. And that's all outside of the actual contest, the playroom, the debate, and so forth. So really, that's wonderful. So thank you both for coming.
Thank you,
Thank you
David.
for inviting us.
I wish you a lovely evening, a pleasant preparation for your division contests. I know they're not easy. I've done a couple myself, and so all the best. And please keep us informed if there's anything else that we can add, photos, events, a flyer for breaking news in the future. So thanks, Toastmaster Elsa and Toastmaster Elena.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There you have it. So division contests galore, and certainly some fun and festivities that are also there. And I love the idea of a feast too. Who doesn't like to eat and come together in that Toastmasters spirit? Speaking of coming together, we actually had recently, I was involved more as the hybrid Toastmasters, the Zoom master, I want to say, that I was a couple of weekends, just last weekend, I think. And Toastmaster Zhao, my guest now, was actually our contest chair. And we actually had 2 areas together. So Zhao, I just thought this was a tremendous feat that I wanted to recognize you and just to hear some highlights from you about the event, maybe the stress, maybe the exhilaration that happened afterwards.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, David. And I have to say, what I remember most from this event is the community, the support, the excitement that we had on the Saturday. I was still beaming a couple of days afterwards from everything that happened. And I think that all that also kind of brought together our clubs across Vienna. It was an amazing experience, and I feel so grateful for the support throughout the contest. So I couldn't have wished for a better Zoom master, hybrid master than yourself, of course.
Thank you.
And my partner in crime, Danya, who is the area director for F1, so I'm for F2.
Mm-hmm.
She was supporting us before the contest and also online during the contest. I had a fabulous chief judge from the Blue Danube Leaders Club who was managing all the contests, both languages, English, German, and all the areas. We had judges from all the clubs, and the location was amazing, and it was so full that we were trying to fit in chairs to make sure everybody had a seat. It was great, really.
Wonderful. And there's some pictures there from your LinkedIn account for your club, Vienna Toastmasters Club, which is wonderful. And it really was a full day. So maybe other areas are thinking about combining, So what I remember, of course, what we did, I was there, but we of course had separate contests, but that also meant that there were a bigger pool of judges to choose from, and therefore also that new voice or that new listening for judges. You weren't listening to people that you knew, you're often judging people that you weren't. I think that's a tremendous idea that you brought to this combined contest. And at the same time, having people go, oh, there are whole other clubs in Vienna, in this case, or around other parts of Austria and Slovenia that can compete and obviously have the community that you mentioned as well. Is there any advice for any other area directors that are thinking about putting this on? Maybe one tip that you have, Zhao?
One tip. Wow. Well, combining areas is a little bit tricky, I have to say, because you really have to keep things separate. It has a big advantage that you can send more people to the division contest, of course. However, we did try to leverage the synergy we had. So we had a lot of the judges across all the contests, but you have to make sure that the judges are not known to each other, especially if there are some contestant from one area serving as a judge in the other area, right? So they're not supposed to know about the judges that are also serving as their judges. So that was a bit tricky, just keeping things separate, but we managed well, I think.
Amazing. I must admit, I take my hat off. You're obviously a professional project manager, someone who really understands that whole process. And really, it was such a gift to be on your team. And I say that quite honestly and publicly because it really made for a smooth event. So I think really you are a master at this, this whole structure of which takes place. Are you involved in the division contest and conference?
Well, I just supported also the F3 contest, and I told our division director I'm happy to help out in Villach at the division level. However, I'm really, really busy with work the next couple of weeks, so I'm not going to take a major role or anything ahead of the division contest. However, I think one thing we can do in Toastmasters is really just reuse things, not reinventing things every contest, because it really follows the same scheme every year. And so I'm making the whole library of things that I came up with. And I'm one thing to say is I'm super thankful to the district contest team, Keith, Barrett, Margarita, who have answered so many of my emails, like every little question and big questions, and in a super timely fashion. And also all the materials they put together also with representatives from other divisions, that was hugely helpful. That said, we still came up with a lot of things ourselves to manage things operationally during the contest, and I want to pass that on and make sure that things get reused in coming years.
Amazing. Well, let's not reinvent the wheel. So we appreciate that sharing, Zhao. And thanks for coming on tonight. I know also you have a family, so I'll let you get to your family now. But stay in touch, and thanks for that sharing. And we look forward to seeing you on again.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thanks, Zhao. There you have it. So already some amazing, talented leaders within our midst. And really, we can learn from each other. Zhao said, let's not reinvent the wheel. So do get in touch with Zhao. You can find her on LinkedIn and at Club Vienna Toastmasters Club 551, active as a current area director as well. And maybe in the further contests and conferences, it's a good chance to hear of each other's ideas, what's worked well and what's, going forward, a good idea there as well. So speaking of going forward, I'd now like to introduce one of our newest corporate clubs. A few episodes ago, we had a different club, but this club, again, has spent the time and is part of a large organization. It's really a gift tonight to have 3 of their club members to join me in the breaking news broadcast studio. So I'd like to bring in Toastmaster Jennifer, Toastmaster Jürgen, and Toastmaster Vasilis. Welcome to Breaking News.
Hi, David. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. And I know not all of you are 100% well, so I'm glad we're in the virtual space. I hope you're wearing something comfortable. And of course, if you have a glass of water on hand, you're welcome too. So you are the PNG Geneva Club, as I understand, as I see now in your beautiful background there as well. So yeah, tonight let's have a chat about your club. We've got some questions, and maybe if people are watching on and they have questions, please, we are live, so your comments are welcome. So I'd love to hear from Jennifer. How was the club founded?
So, David, it was January last year, and I'd just been nominated as the communication skill owner for PNG Finance in Europe. Now, I must have been in the right place at the right time because, or someone able to do the work, because this is a critical skill for our function. It's often that we're able to do fantastic work in terms of analysis, but the difference is made when we're able to really communicate that. So I was brainstorming about how to build the communication skills of the organization, because you may learn about communication in a training, but you actually don't really get enough of the practice until you're doing it on an everyday basis. And I talked to a senior manager who I've very much been in touch with, and he said to me, okay, well, look, I'm a Toastmaster. Why don't we try and build Toastmasters for PNG Finance in Geneva? And we did. We started that up with a promotion campaign. We brought people together. We did a demo from the connections that he had, bringing in different area Toastmasters to give us a fantastic demo meeting. And from that, then we were able to sign up and enough people to be able to charter. And we really kicked it off. So that was in May last year. And we formally chartered in October once we'd been through the internet site and got all our paperwork together. And we're really now learning as we go, because of course we're very new. Not many of us know much about Toastmasters. So every time we're learning, we've been to visit other clubs. We've had officer training. We're getting wonderful support from the area and from the district. So it's a fantastic and super exciting time.
Yeah. And here you are on breaking news already. So
yeah,
such
exactly.
I mean, you're very welcome.
Yes.
All of you. It's wonderful. So, I mean, how does the club operate? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, well, we meet every second Tuesday from 5:30 till about 7ish, or whenever it's finished. And then after that, we have our snacks and a bit of time for networking as well, so that we can meet and connect with each other. It's really then built quite a nice group of people who probably wouldn't have had the chance to know each other before. So we get the chance to talk together, and then we have officer meetings at lunchtime whenever it's the right time to catch up.
Yeah, wonderful. Great. Wow. And let me ask you, so what are some of your club statistics? Jürgen, do you have some ideas about numbers and I mean you mentioned finance before, so maybe you're all in the world of numbers.
Well, as Jennifer said, like we meet kind of twice a month, so it's 18 sessions that we have had that I've counted since June, and we have 23 confirmed members and typically about 15 participants on average, which kind of make things move. And there's obviously a change in participants as people move on across the organization, but we have a lot of very junior members. So speaking to Jennifer's point about like really driving that communication skill, we had now the first participation on the contest early March, and I guess many of us at least get started in the Pathways program.
Good. Yeah. Which path did you pick, Jürgen?
I took the general presentation path at this point in time, and kind of I'm actually just skimming through it and kind of saw quite a few opportunities what my next icebreaker speeches have to address. So
good. Yeah. We all, a few years ago, we had a different legacy program, so everybody had to start again. So I'm only 3 or 4 speeches in from my icebreaker as well, even though I'm a distinguished Toastmaster already. So yeah, we're all on a very good level playing field there as well, which is nice. And are you the only PNG club? I mean, you're a part of a global organization. Are there others, Jürgen?
Well, first, it was actually interesting to kind of think about the question, because I wasn't thinking about that, and then I was Googling at least what Google gave me. I was like immediately getting excited because our friends in Toronto, Canada, apparently had started one, but unfortunately, it seems that they have stopped again. I guess the guy who has been running that actively has left P&G, or at least I don't see him internally anymore. So probably an opportunity you are talking about here.
Yeah. But as you said before, 23 members, 18 sessions already, an average of 14 to 15 people per meeting. Really, as you mentioned, Jennifer, communication training and practice being the key for the whole existence of the club. So that's obviously great for the company. So how does the company support this initiative that the three of you and your other members are moving forward with?
Exactly. What they are providing at the moment are membership fees, and also the catering and the rooms and everything like that for us to be able to meet and to operate. And then, of course, as we continue and hopefully as we grow, then we look to keep pushing to get some more further support too.
Yeah. And do you have I know I'd said I wouldn't ask you any on the spot questions, but do you have any? Do you have an ideal membership? You have 23 or so now. Do you want to expand to a certain number for the company?
Definitely. I think at least if we can be 20 people per meeting, if not 25, that would give us a really good leverage to keep everybody learning and keep it going as well from a network point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've often advised, junior Toastmasters to consider those small roles like timer and R counter, move on towards giving some speeches, and then go on towards Toastmaster of the evening or Table Topics Master and things like that. And then, of course, the officers team, come after that a little bit as well. So there really is a level of development that I think is important, maybe for more in your organization, but obviously for even those who feel perhaps less experienced, with presentation skills, with public speaking. I'd like to ask you all now and start with Vasilis, please, because you haven't had a chance to speak yet. But, what was your own specific journey to Toastmasters? What brought you? Was it as Jennifer, maybe Jennifer is the come to this, or you knew someone, or what brought you to Toastmasters, and what are you looking for in your journey? Vasilis?
I'm looking for fun, just to give a different spin to the learning experience with Toastmasters. And I think for me, what's important is, we have these meetings 5:30 every other Tuesday. I find myself many times at 5:30 on those Tuesdays to be already exhausted from a full day's work. And going into the meetings, I'm wondering myself, was this a good idea? I'm going to be here for another 2 hours. But then through the meeting, because we have such a great group there, and the interactions, the dynamics, the fun we're having is such that, by the end of the meeting, I find myself full of energy again. And so, that element of fun, that element of getting the energy from the meeting is, I think, very important for me to keep me going there.
Yeah, wonderful.
How it started, we had a common friend or common colleague that inspired us all to begin this journey and brought us into the Toastmasters Club. And I think it was a great initiative.
Yeah, and now into the Toastmasters universe. And now with Udly, as we saw before, as maybe you saw, Udly just brings it into the AI dimension now for us all as well. Jennifer, what was your road to Toastmasters and your starting journey?
Well, it was again very similar to Vasilis. This colleague who said, "Let's start it." So we did. I didn't know anything about it. I got taken along to different trainings and conferences, and before I knew it, we were up and running. So that's why. And now it's just wonderful. The team are really helping build everything and make sure people are working.
Yeah, great. And Jürgen, what about you? What was the clincher for you? That sort of the reason you signed the form or filled in the form or online application?
Well, in my case, it's very similar, easy. I just have to kind of look up the screen. I see Jennifer, and she kind of pulled me into that. And then, as also Jennifer said, it was like, it then was just kind of flowing. Now I need to say, I kind of, as Jennifer said, communication is such an important thing. And I'm actually owning the Europe coaching training in PNG. So also there's a lot about, communication, about interaction with folks. So it felt like just a very good add-on to what we're doing, and both for myself, but then obviously also for our younger colleagues, because as I'm with every coaching training, for example, I give, obviously I'm supposed to give, but I feel I learn every time. And I kind of just thought this is so important to get in this, to keep this learning going. And hence for me, being part of Toastmasters here is a blast there. And as Vasily said, sometimes it's a bit stretched at 5:30. I kind of just closing a meeting somewhere and having to run there. But the moment kind of you enter the room and you get that new energy for the rest of the day, and I think it's just a great thing.
Yeah. So I'm hearing blast, I'm hearing fun and learning at the same time. And I mean, my next question is, why did you join? But that's also clear. You've made that clear here. But what do you get out of Toastmasters? So, for some people, it's the values that we have: respect, integrity, service, and excellence. And I use that order. So we think about RISE as an acronym. But, for others, it might be that chance to train, to network, to feel, as you heard before, perhaps with Zhao, a sense of community as well, to meet people across the organization. So, what do you all get out of Toastmasters? Maybe Jennifer, you'd like to go first this time.
Well, absolutely. I'm all of the things you mentioned, David, very much in line with that too. Specifically for me, I'm just not super comfortable with improvisation, and I'm not someone who's up and running to do speeches just like that, all the time. So I really feel this is an environment that's safe, where, level, seniority, it just doesn't matter. You can get enough feedback from the whole organization, and it's not in any way threatening. You can further develop. So that for me is the really nice thing that I get to personally build out of Toastmasters.
Yeah. It's a skill. Improvisation is a skill.
Yeah.
So that's great. Vasilis, what about you?
I'll echo the safe environment comment from Jennifer. I think that's very important. I mean, we all work on presentations. We have been in the company for many years, so we've gotten to practice presentations. But as you're also aware, I think business presentations can be unbelievably boring, or they can be sometimes a more interesting experience. And I think that safe environment allows you to experiment a bit, polish your skills, try out new things, and get good feedback from your colleagues. So
you can't do that in front of the managing director without potentially it failing. So you're absolutely right. It's a playground. We heard from our division directors before who said, they've got playrooms and games and this kind of ideas as well. So I'm sure there's some learnings that we can all take into, our Toastmasters clubs and experiences. But what we learn here, we can apply there. So that's really great, Vasilis. I hear that from you as well, in a safe place. And Jürgen, what about you? What keeps you going to Toastmasters?
Yeah, I wanted to say it's a training room, so playground, as you said eventually.
Yeah.
And I never had a manager, I guess, luckily, counting my R's or actually realizing that typically my voice is like very steady and so on. People told me that when I was coaching, and so being able to actually play with that and kind of deliberately play with that, and have Vasilis and Jennifer tell me, hey, this says you could kind of play a bit more even than what you were thinking you were already doing, or hey, you had very few R's here, but then when you kind of got somewhere else in the evaluation, suddenly I was counting 10 R's, and I was like, oh my God, no. So this is one thing. The other thing that actually I find really exciting, and this is for me actually more to come than having done that already, is actually to also then externally, across other Toastmaster clubs, like, in Geneva, starting with that, but then, beyond actually meet people that perhaps you wouldn't be meeting otherwise.
Yeah, wonderful. That social aspect as well. In our club, we also count so's. So, in Austria here in a German-speaking country. So I wonder for other languages, in Australia, where I'm from, you would say, right, okay. So I would count the okays and the rights as much as I'd count the ums and the ahs. So any word that's repeated, you're right. And we've all been in those corporate presentations. That's what I do as a corporate coach myself. And I'm listening for those things that are annoying. And so maybe now as Toastmasters too, you'll start to feel more annoyed when you hear colleagues, doing that. But at least you have a club, you have a place where you can say, hey, why not come along to Toastmasters? You don't have to tell them straight up. I counted 45 ums in your 5-minute presentation, but certainly, you can use this as a launching place to really help more people in your organization, which I think is fantastic. And that's why we wanted to hear some of your insights and some of those ideas. So before we wrap it up, I just have a couple more questions. Thinking about you mentioned May was when you first got rolling, and then in October was your official chartering. So are there any other club highlights, Vasilis, perhaps that maybe you've had an opening party or any kind of things that you'd like to mention in terms of highlights?
I think that the highlight has been a very recent one. We went through the area competition about 3 weeks ago, and it was quite an experience. I think for us, which are a junior club, still going into our first competition in the first year, it was a great experience to have. We've all been through. We have all been on stage for many presentations, but something about the formalities in that contest, something about new faces. I found myself personally building up stress and having to do breath work just to make sure I go up on stage and deliver. But I think it was overall a very good experience. We are now moving ahead to the division contest, 3 of us.
Great.
So full speed, even though we're a junior club.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Wow, that is a highlight, and certainly an exciting part of your first year as a Toastmasters club. And are there any other milestones or other member achievements that any of you would like to share? But maybe Vasilis, we start with you.
I think that the milestones, I would say, Jennifer mentioned, the first milestone, of course, was to get enough members to be able to register as a club. I think we've done that. We have now a core group that meets regularly and in a very good atmosphere, a safe environment, as we said. I think the second milestone is probably keep the interest going. We're having meeting after meeting. One of the ideas is try new things that may help people. So in one of our last meetings, as part of the table topics session, we tried to incorporate some improv games. And so we essentially did a bit of team building through those improv games, and at the same time enhanced our storytelling techniques and helped people loosen up and build up in the right way for the table topics that follow. So these are sort of the things that we're trying to do and keep the interest going.
Yeah, great. Wonderful. Well, really, thank you to the 3 of you. I would like to give you the opportunity to say any parting words, any final thoughts that you might have to share with us. Maybe an insight from the journey so far, or if there were any other parts of PNG thinking about starting something similar, anything to share.
Well, David, I certainly didn't expect to be live streaming on YouTube, so this for me has been a first.
Yeah, you're probably good at that.
And without Toastmasters, I wouldn't be doing this. So thank you very much for also your support to enable that. We have a conference to go to in Milan, so we're going to keep learning and look to make the further connections from there. So thank you very much.
Wonderful. It's a pleasure. Jürgen, anything from you?
Well, I think for me, it's really just, as Jennifer said, get folks who are with us, like really to kind of now do some of those formal things and really go through the pathway programs, and actually versus just doing a speech. A lot of us have come through the interview process in our company and kind of are feeling some level of comfort to say, well, I just tried out, especially in a safe environment. But now taking that step further and saying, actually, this is what I want to learn this time around, or this is what I want to try out this time around, and then go there and really, really develop through there, be part of those contests that happen beyond PNG. I think that will be critical for us to kind of really kind of have people then also see the value, and then as Vasily said, like make people be part of this club for longer time, and hence give us the right to be there.
Absolutely, for years to come. Maybe one day in a few years we'll interview your first distinguished Toastmaster from the PNG Club. Wonderful. Vasilis, any final words, thoughts, or a quote from you?
Oh, very shortly, I would just say it's been a great experience so far. We're having a lot of fun. We're looking forward to listening to other experienced Toastmasters so that we can learn and experiment more, and looking forward to expanding our membership as well. And thank you for having us here today.
It's a pleasure. So if you're a PNG, especially in Petit Losset, I think you said, in Geneva, there, get in touch with Jennifer, Jürgen, and Vasilis and other members and become a Toastmaster. Why not? So thank you, all three of you, for being on tonight. I wish you a pleasant evening, and let's stay in touch.
Have a nice
Thank
evening.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Wonderful. So if you are a member of PNG, get in contact, and maybe you are inspired to start a corporate club in your community. So we have leaders around the district, people who have gone through the process that can mentor you and make it easy. So why not get in touch with them? Likewise, if you've got other news and if you speak other languages, I still want to hear from you. We have several episodes remaining till the end of this Toastmasters season. So d109prm@gmail.com. We're looking for anchors in these languages you see on screen. And it's always important that we bring multiple languages for multiple voices, because we are very much a multilingual district. Let's go to weather. This is my favorite part of the evening. In Athens tomorrow, it's going to be 22 and sunny. In Istanbul, 19 sunny and cloudy. In Jerusalem, 18 sunny and cloudy. In Ljubljana, it is looks like showers, thunderstorms, 13 there. In Nicosia, it's 23 sunny and cloudy. In Rome, 18 and showers. Sofia as well, 16 in showers, and more showers perhaps than in Rome. In Birkirkara, 19 and just cloudy. In Linz, a cold 7 and with cloud and showers. And in Petit Losset, 9 there, cloudy and showers. So it's been an action-packed episode, and it's really been a pleasure to be with you tonight here for Breaking News. And we are on every 2 weeks. So if you do wish to participate, maybe you have some news from around our wonderful District 109, I want to hear from you, d109prm@gmail.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn or on various channels as well. So get in touch, as Jennifer did tonight, and we were very happy to have PNG on our broadcast. So this has been another episode of Breaking News. It is March 26. I'm David Corcoran. Have a good night.